Yo, before anything else, I need you to sit down for this one, because what I'm about to break down is one of the dirtiest media hit jobs I've seen pulled on a professional athlete in years. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why the WNBA's biggest publications keep trying to convince you that Caitlin Clark isn't the face of this league anymore. Stick around, because this is going to get heated. Talk about idiotic. Talk about stupidity at the highest level, because that's exactly what we're dealing with right now. This is ridiculous, and honestly, at this point I'm convinced these people just don't know how to stop. Enough is enough. You've got articles dropping. You've got these so-called sports complexes putting out think pieces claiming Paige Bueckers has somehow taken Caitlin Clark's spot as the face of women's basketball. And it's not just her. Every few months it's a new name. First it was Angel Reese. They tried that angle for a full season, pushing her as the rival, the counterweight, the storyline. And what happened? They realized pretty quickly that she just wasn't drawing the numbers to be a legitimate rival to Clark. So what did they do? They pivoted. They moved on to Paige Bueckers. Then when that didn't fully stick either, they started floating Olivia Miles. And now, in the background, they're already positioning for JuJu Watkins, waiting on her to enter the league so they can crown her the next great hope to dethrone Clark from the top of the sport. I'm telling you right now, it is not going to happen. It didn't happen with Reese, it's not happening with Bueckers, and it's not going to happen with whoever comes next either. And look, part of this falls on leadership too. Cathy Engelbert has done such a poor job of clearly establishing, protecting, and promoting the fact that Caitlin Clark is the face of this league and treating her accordingly. This is a woman who single-handedly changed the economics and the visibility of the entire sport. She's made franchises more valuable overnight. She's made her teammates richer through jersey sales, ticket sales, and TV deals. She brought in viewers who had never watched a WNBA game in their life. And yet the media wants to hand out the credit to everybody except her, while somehow never asking anybody else to carry the weight and the responsibility that comes with that spotlight. We have got to talk about this. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, make sure you like the video, drop a comment, subscribe, share this with somebody who needs to hear it, and hit that bell so you don't miss the next one. I appreciate every single one of you rocking with this channel. Let's get straight into it, because there's a lot to unpack. So this article, and I want to be clear, I'm talking about the piece that's been making rounds claiming Paige Bueckers has taken Caitlin Clark's spot. I am disgusted by it. This is a nasty, one-sided piece of writing dressed up as sports journalism. My first question, and I want you to really sit with this. If Paige Bueckers has genuinely taken Caitlin Clark's spot as the face of the league, why isn't she the one being pushed in front of cameras and forced to answer questions about the biggest controversies in the sport? Why isn't she the one being asked to weigh in on the debates around who should and shouldn't be allowed to compete in women's sports? Why does that pressure always land on Clark's shoulders and never on the shoulders of the player they're claiming has replaced her? Because here's what's really going on. They want to hand Bueckers all the acclaim, all the headlines, all the she's the new face narratives, but none of the responsibility that actually comes with that position. That's not how it works. You don't get to claim the crown without carrying the weight of the crown. And let's talk about some of the things that have come out involving Bueckers that never seem to get the same level of scrutiny. There have been reports and clips circulating of her engaging with sports betting content on camera, and there's been footage from All-Star Weekend appearances that raised eyebrows online. Now just imagine, for 1 second, if any of that had involved Caitlin Clark instead. Imagine the cycle of articles, the outrage pieces, the what does this say about her character columns. It would be nonstop. But because it involves someone the media has decided to prop up as an alternative to Clark, it gets brushed under the rug, minimized, or ignored entirely. That's the double standard I have a problem with. They're handing Bueckers all this praise specifically because they don't like the fact that Clark has become the dominant figure in this sport, but they're not requiring her to handle any of the responsibilities that come with real stardom. Let's actually read through what this piece is claiming, because it gets more ridiculous the deeper you go. The headline itself suggests Bueckers has passed Clark as the best guard in the league right now. Passed her how exactly? What are we even basing that on? The article brings up the fact that Clark and Bueckers have known each other for years, going back to AAU tournaments in middle school, then playing together on a USA basketball youth national team. That part, fine, that's just history, nobody's disputing that. But then it pivots into claiming Bueckers has surpassed her in scoring efficiency and in playmaking. Playmaking? Who out there genuinely believes Paige Bueckers is a better playmaker right now than Caitlin Clark? Bueckers is an incredible three-level scorer. Nobody's denying her talent. She's one of the more efficient offensive players in this league. But this article goes as far as saying she's not some two-guard cosplaying as a point guard, a direct shot at Clark, framing her like she's faking her position. Meanwhile, Clark is responsible for something like 45% of her team's total offensive output on a nightly basis. Yes, she racks up turnovers too, because she's doing more with the ball in her hands than almost anybody else in the league, creating shots for herself and for her teammates possession after possession. That's not a weakness, that's usage. This entire piece reads like a coordinated effort to convince the public that Bueckers is the new face of women's basketball, while Clark gets pushed to the side. They praise Bueckers' rebounding, her defense, her leadership, and then turn around and use a single viral clip of Clark appearing to ignore a teammate on the bench as some kind of character indictment. Meanwhile, Bueckers gets described as calm, cool, collected, surgical, like she's never shown an ounce of frustration on a basketball court in her life. You didn't see anybody clapping back in Bueckers' face in a viral moment because the cameras simply aren't following her with the same intensity they follow Clark. And then on top of all that, they start talking about aura and Instagram-approved style, like this is a fashion competition and not a basketball conversation. It's a hit piece. Plain and simple. This is a hit piece on Caitlin Clark dressed up as basketball analysis. And at some point enough has to be enough. Now here's where it gets even more frustrating. There was coverage, Fox News ran with it, about Clark being asked directly whether the league should be the one determining who is and isn't allowed to compete in women's sports, and the WNBA staying largely silent on the matter. My question remains the same. If Bueckers is supposedly the face of this league now, why isn't she the one fielding that question? Why isn't her name on that headline? Why does the burden of representing the entire league on the most controversial topics always fall on Clark, while Bueckers gets to exist purely as a basketball player with none of that pressure attached to her name? There was a clip going around of a commentator breaking this exact double standard down, and it stuck with me because it's exactly right. The idea that Clark somehow betrayed a teammate or a movement by not answering a certain question doesn't hold up under any scrutiny. What movement? Before another player made an offhand comment in an ESPN interview that got blown up and stretched way beyond what was actually said, there wasn't some organized movement happening at all. That conversation had mostly gone quiet. Nobody was actively debating it on a daily basis. Caitlin Clark is a basketball player, not a political activist, and she has said as much herself, multiple times. In her own words, she's made clear she doesn't want her career defined by taking positions on political or social issues. She wants to play the game she loves. That's a completely reasonable stance for any professional athlete to take, and it shouldn't be treated as some kind of scandal every time she declines to turn a press conference into a policy debate. And that's exactly the point. Bueckers gets to just play basketball if she wants to. She's not forced into these hit pieces. She's not the one constantly being asked to comment on hot-button issues on behalf of an entire league. She doesn't have journalists building narratives around every facial expression, every bench interaction, every offhand moment caught on a broadcast camera. Clark carries all of that weight every single day, while other players get to operate with a level of freedom and lack of scrutiny that simply isn't extended to her. And still, despite carrying all of that, she's the one being torn apart in these articles while the player being propped up as her replacement gets a complete pass. I want to be clear about something before people misread this. This isn't about tearing Paige Bueckers down as a player. She's talented, she's a great scorer, she's good for the league in her own right. The problem isn't Bueckers. The problem is the media machine that keeps trying to manufacture a rivalry narrative by pitting these two against each other, elevating whoever's convenient at the moment while conveniently ignoring the reality of who's actually driving attendance numbers, television ratings, merchandise sales, and mainstream cultural relevance. You can respect multiple players at once without pretending the numbers and the impact aren't obviously lopsided. So that's where I stand on this. This is nasty work from these outlets, and it really does need to stop. It's not journalism at that point, it's narrative building, and fans deserve better than constantly being fed manufactured controversy instead of honest basketball coverage. What do you think? Drop it in the comments. Let's get a real conversation going down there. This has been Keep the Vision. Make sure you like the video, subscribe if you're new, share it with somebody who needs to see this breakdown, and I'll catch you in the next one.